Hello and welcome to Grind Slime TV with me, your host Aaron. And today we're heading back over to Canada, oh yes, once again, for some death metal from 2001. And that is Gorguts' album, From Wisdom to Hate. Now it's a little bit hard to see there, I think, because it's got a very sort of polished sort of thing going on. If I hold it at that angle, you can kind of see what's going on. Looks alright, I think. Now, got 8 songs, which is pretty cool. Always like that. Now, gatefold action, as you know, Aaron loves. Oh, they've got all them lyrics. Again, trying to get out a right, right angle. And oh, there's a phrase. He don't look happy, does he? What's his problem, do you reckon? Weird. But I like the sort of logo style album title. I think that's pretty cool. It's got a bit of a yeah, sort of that sort of classic old school thing going on. Also comes with the history here as well, because this is a reissue from Nuclear War now. Got this a few years back, maybe 10 years ago, maybe a little bit less. Can't remember. But you know, it's got all the usual bells and whistles. It does come with a poster, but that's around here somewhere. So I remember I had to take all of them down when I rearranged. And so it's in a drawer, but I'm yet to find it. But we will. Oh, we will. Now, as we always like to see over here, nice black vinyl. Oh yes, lovely, lovely. No insert, but then, you know, doesn't really need one, given the detail on the inner sleeves there. Oh yes. Now, interesting thing about this record is where they kind of steered away from the usual sort of death and pestilence kind of topics that you'd imagine a band called Gorguts would do, you know, considering dead, etc. Or considered dead, sorry. But this is where they really start getting much more philosophical, looking into like hypocrisies in certain frame of minds and beliefs, be they religious or otherwise. You've got like stuff like military history and the politics thereof. There's loads of stuff in it, but each song comes with like a little quote relating to what the song's content is. So like up there, it has like a little passage. Sounds a little biblical, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. Then you've got another one there. Look. So before each song, and these aren't recorded, by the way. These are all just written here in the text. Well, if you go on Metal Archives, you can read them as well. But yeah, there's no like intros to the songs or anything like that. They just kick off from where the first line of the actual song starts. And it's really cool. I actually quite like that. It's a little extra something, you know. It gives you a little something to think like, oh yeah. Now musically, I mean, if you've heard the old Gorgut stuff, and yeah, I'm pretty certain you will have done, you know, seeing as you're here. But again, if you're new to the game, it was pretty traditional, sort of death metal sort of sound, you know, really cool stuff. I really like those first 2 albums, but especially the first one. That's a banger. Had those really cool Dan Seagrave pieces on the front. You had like one of them has like a little coffin or sarcophagus thing. You got like this Lovecraftian skeleton monster ghoul type thing floating in on the side. Really, really cool. I'm all about that. And the second one had like all those TVs with like skeletons in them and shit. So they've always been a little bit on the philosophical side, you know. They're not green by any means. But this is they really steered away from it, you know. And but they did on their previous album as well, Obscura. That's when it really went off the wall. And they just went to a different direction. But this isn't like Obscura at all, in my opinion. Like Obscura is a cool album. I get it. It's very, very important when it comes to like the technical death metal scene and stuff. You know, it really kicked off that whole like to the next level. Like I say, it's a cool album. It's just I don't own it, and I don't really plan to. I've heard it a few times. This is one of those ones where it's like, yeah, it's cool, but it's not. It's nothing I'm going to put on myself, really. So, but I heard this album because I think, if I remember rightly, this was in the sale on NW. And actually, when did this Does it say when they put this out? No, I can't see it. On the side. Should probably do this sort of stuff before I start these videos, but who has the time? Yeah, there's no dates on here. But yeah, but this was sort of like in the sale. And I think it was only saying like $10 or something ridiculous. And I was like, oh, I'll YouTube it for $10. I don't give a fuck. And yeah, I really liked it. I thought it had the same sort of twangy technicalness that Obscura had, but this one felt like it leaned a lot more into like that sort of old school sort of Morbid Angel kind of sound, but like sort of like Covenant era Morbid Angel. But at the same time, it was, I don't know. And when I say technical, I don't mean like that super, like necessarily playing super fast and all that stuff, but just like really off the wall sort of time signatures and doing certain like scale movements that become quite desolate that may not necessarily work any other time, but these guys seem to pull it off. So really, really cool. So yes, it's got that sort of grandiose, straight up traditional death metal sound too. Not like it was when they started. Like I said, because when they started, they didn't sound like Morbid Angel, and this doesn't necessarily sound like a Morbid Angel record, but you can see it's leaning more into that sort of that larger kind of sound. What the kids call cavernous. I call it mountainous, but that sort of thing. So it's a very grand album for sure, but it's still got that tongue-in-cheek twang about it because, and I hate saying this phrase, it's one of those button phrases for me that whenever I hear someone use it seriously, I just want to fucking twat them in the head. But avant-garde death metal, right? So I feel dirty just saying it, but yeah. So we've got this going on with that sort of extra twang that we will call it from now on. So if you're new to the channel and you're not new, you'll know where that phrase started. If I say it's got that technical twang, it means it's the forbidden phrase. But yeah, I absolutely recommend this album. You've got 40 minutes of really, really well composed death metal. The dude's vocals, what's his name? There he is, Luke LeMay. Yeah, his vocals are bang on, just as they always have been. Like there's no change there. He's still got that really raw, aggressive, almost sounding like he's in pain kind of roars going on. And the bass cuts through lovely as well from old Steve Cloutier. Ooh, French Canadian, are you? But yeah, that's cool. But no, all in all, I think this is a really, really cool album. If you drew the line at Obscura and you checked out the first two records and you loved them, listened to Obscura, you didn't like it, so you thought, right, I'm just cutting them off from now on. I would say give this a listen as well, but go in with an open mind, knowing that it's not going to sound like the first two records. The name of the second one escapes me. Don't worry, I'm not trying to slip that one past you. And but either way, I would give this a go because it doesn't. I don't think it sounds overly like Obscura. I mean, I've listened to Obscura again since, and I was like, yeah, it's still not really for me. But this one, it sticks through, and I've spun this many a time now. Really enjoy it each time, and yeah, it's very atmospheric, and just I don't know. It just doesn't. If I'm using the right word, it doesn't seem quite as pretentious in a way. If you know what I mean. Not that I think Gorguts were trying to be that, but I can see how some people would look at it and be like, this seems a bit artsy. But no, this is a solid death metal record. Really, really worth checking out. And all because you like those first two doesn't mean you will like this one. But I think it's worth checking out anyway. And if this one doesn't do it for you, then nothing else by them will. So stick to your first two. Or if you're feeling adventurous, give From Wisdom to Hate a go. Read along with the lyrics, see what you think. You might learn a thing or two, might take an interest in something, and who knows, you might go down a rabbit hole. But, I mean, I didn't, but you might. And that's something. You can take that to the bank. So, that's it from me today. Thank you for joining me. Support the underground. and I will catch you tomorrow.